We just got used to it. But we lived happily. We didn't care much about the apartheid laws, where you should go, you shouldn't go, because we just got used to it. But being a child, I didn't pay much attention to that. I was a quiet one, I didn't bother much. I was born on the 10th of December 1936 in Johannesburg, and then I got married to a Cape Townian, and then we moved to Cape Town.
I'm a mother. I have 4 beautiful children. I'm married. I live in Brighton, originally from Cape Town, South Africa.
I'm 17. I'm currently finishing off my A-levels. I live in Brighton and I'm half British, half South African.
To me, it just meant oppression. That you couldn't live where you wanted to live. You couldn't travel comfortably in the trains or in the buses. You always had to be crowded. So that was the only thing that I felt wasn't nice, living in that era. I wasn't much interested in politics, so I just went with the flow.
It's hard to explain because when you're a young child, it just is. You just go to a school where children are of the same race. You go to a shopping mall, people are of the same race as you, so there's nothing different, nothing stands out.
Well, it was the segregation between the whites or the Europeans, they like to call it, and the non-Europeans.
So the one thing that I do recall was beaches. There was a clear segregation of beaches that I was allowed to go to, and that people who were white were allowed to go to. And I think the only reason that impacted me was apartheid was still ongoing when I was a teenager at high school. So I remember when it was tradition to go and have a barbecue at the seaside with your friends in the end of the school year. It would be at a what they call coloured beach.
We could never go on Thames Bay Beach, Clifton Beach, and in the Strand also. You were never allowed to go on the beaches. There were always boards up, whites only.
Yeah, I think it is a weird idea that beaches were once segregated because it's nature. How can anyone claim that a part of a land is there simply because of their skin colour? That makes no sense.
Emotionally, it made me feel very sad, because you weren't free. You couldn't just do what you want to. You just had to stay in your little corner.
Well, it's quite upsetting because my mum's side of the family was directly affected by it, but I haven't had any personal experience with it.
The generation of that time didn't feel that it was okay, the apartheid.
There was loads of struggle things that were happening at the time during the 70s and 80s when I grew up, because Mandela was still in prison. It was the height of student unrest, and especially in the Western Cape, where I was a high school student. That was the last generation of the struggle.
No, I don't think my generation has been affected by apartheid. Well, because we've been allowed to live in any part of Cape Town in South Africa that we want to. And we're allowed to go any place we want. We're allowed to attend schools with white children and black children.
I wasn't interested in politics. I just went with the flow, and I enjoyed life as it came, I knew I mustn't go there, so I didn't go the places that I wasn't supposed to go. I just stayed this side of the line. We lost out a lot. You could only become a teacher or a nurse. That was the only education you could get. You couldn't study higher. So the older generation did lose out a lot. But now it's much better. It's changed.
I think a lot of people lost opportunities because of apartheid. And I'm talking about your average working class person. Like my father that had to get a home for his family. He was limited to where he could buy that home. I mean, you can't isolate apartheid as just a simple race thing, the Immorality Act, black and white couldn't mix. It snowballed into a lot of things. It's gonna take years for people to just shake off the whole humiliation of everything. You know, people mustn't forget that people have died. People have died for this. People were tortured and murdered in prison by police officers fighting for the right to vote and be recognized. So for me, living in Brighton is, and being able to be on the beach and seeing all the different cultures and the diversity and the acceptance, and just, it makes it worthwhile. It's like the right thing, you know.
I can